run. And by that, I mean, I'm going to call in our wonderful runners. So, gamers, I got the green light. So let's keep this horror/impromptu Manga Man block going with a Kuon by the wonderful Miss Scarlet Tanager. Take it away.
Hello, everyone. And yes, I might have donated for the express purpose of tying the donation total, and I have an inkling that possibly it might have gotten broken from...
Well, yeah, Heldast had $10 with a contradicting opinion, saying, as much as I love the cute doggo, Yang be Yang, you are going for Yang phase.
That is the second time I've run this at a GDQ-related event that Yin has gotten sniped in favor of Yang. Alrighty then. So everyone.
But last time he got a world record, so now we just get another world record.
This is true, but since then Yang has gotten much tighter. My name is MissScarletTanager. I like to play spooky games. I'm a spooky game person. These are my lovely. This is my lovely couch. The white one is Tally. The gray one is Garrus. I have no idea how long they're going to stay on camera, but they have some lettuce, so maybe they'll stay on for a little bit. Anyway, since it got sniped, I was tempted to be like, let's make it 60 and like put it over. I went, no. Let's have chaos and tie it. So we're playing Yang phase?
We are playing Yang phase.
Alrighty then. And I'm going to go straight into it. We're going to be playing Insomnia difficulty. That's like the normal mode. All of this stuff, don't worry about it. And time starts as soon as I hit yes on this in 3, 2, 1, click. Alrighty, so what is Kuon? Kuon is objectively the best FromSoft game ever released, and it is the best Souls game ever released, and I will take no, what's the word? I will breach no discussion and or argument on the subject.
Except no questions on the matter. There we go.
I will accept no questions on the matter. It is objectively the best FromSoft game. It is also sort of like what happens if Fatal Frame and Resident Evil had a baby, and then that baby was raised by FromSoft. It makes sense. I swear. I click, I take, cool. Alrighty, so we are playing as Sakuya. Now, in terms of the game itself, this is the part that makes the most sense. Yin phase, however, makes the least sense. And you know what's hilarious about this? Since I thought I might be playing Yin phase, I accidentally used the wrong splits.
Hey!
So we are completely flying solo while I attempt to change it to the correct splits mid everything else. However, I know this game well enough that I could probably do it blindfolded. Please don't check me on that. All right.
For your charitable donation.
No, God. Oh, I do not know how one would even manage to play this game blindfolded because there's not like a lot of, context clues. However, what are we doing here? So this is a special little like temple mansion thingy-mabob that's in the middle of a city, sort of, though if you looked at the actual game, you'd be like, this looks like it's in the middle of the mountains. No, it's not. It's in a city, I promise. And spooky things are happening, and we are an exorcist / spooky person destroyer, and we are going to take care of the spooks. Problem is, the second our spooky getting rid of person team decided to enter into the mansion, hello friend, they immediately all split up. And spoiler alert, it doesn't go well for anyone. In a horror, anything, just don't split the party, bro. Like, why would you even do that? Alrighty then. So I'm just going around trying to get some of the important items. And yes, I managed to get us on the correct splits. Alrighty, so we're gonna go through this door covered in strawberry jam. Don't worry about it. Oh, hey, here's the enemy we're gonna be seeing the most often. This is a Gaki. Now, you can see me casting spells. It's sort of essentially like bullets in a gun in the video game. Yes, it's a FromSoft game that has functionally bullets. Don't worry about it. All right, we took out that Gaki, and as soon as the game lets me go through there, that's cool. Skipping the cutscenes, because cutscenes are slow. That's our friend there, one of our other exorcist dudes. We're just gonna leave him. I mean, there's strawberry jam all over the place. He'll be fine. He'll be fine.
I see nothing wrong with this.
All right. Yes, there's absolutely nothing wrong with this. Nothing could possibly go wrong. And just like nothing can possibly go wrong, I'm just going to pick up this total backup ammo, just in case. So, one thing about Kuon is it has a bunch of these things that are just like, they call them sacred claws. Excuse you. They call them sacred claws, but what they really are keys. And we need keys. Alrighty, so I'm trying to remember where I'm going. All right, cool. So our friend here, that little, oh, he's not showed up yet. That's later. Don't worry about it. I don't have things that are happening later and I'm getting confused with my routing. This is fine. Okay. So you may want to look away now if you're a little bit sensitive to vision, because this is a vertigo event. Vertigo events are things that can be caused a few different ways. If you're running across certain triggers in the game, that can cause a vertigo event. But we're going to be running across a lot of vertigo events during the game because of the fact that I am running the entire game. I actually have the circle button depressed about 95% of the time. Now, I'll finish that explanation after a moment here. I'm going to pick up this book. And there is a key item right there on the other side of that body, but Sakuya is like, it'd be kind of, rude to reach over a body like that, so I'm just not going to do it. You actually have to go all the way around to get that key item for some reason. The game just decided that. All right, so this is the first real puzzle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Click. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, funny story. I'm playing on the NTSC version of the game. Oh, excuse you. See, sometimes in this game, the controls just decide they don't want to do what you want.
Yep, that sounds like a PS2,
Ooh.
PS3 game.
Ooh. Okay, that got a little toasty there. Thankfully, I have some healing items. All right, so a couple things to explain there. What went wrong? Well, occasionally Sakuya just decides to go in a direction that I do not tell her to go into. And that's what she did there. That's probably the second time that's ever happened. The scary thing about that was you saw I got hit a bunch. Now, the problem with that, obviously, besides taking damage, is you can go into a second type of vertigo event. That second type of vertigo event means you're one hit from death, and we don't like that. So I actually got really, really close to death there. So if you ever see the screen go all wibbly wobbly after I've gotten hit, you know I'm in danger mode. Thankfully, we're going to be picking up a bunch of extra health along the way. Now that enemy down there at the bottom, I like to call him, that one is George. Yes, that one is George. Everyone's ahead of George.
Hi, George.
We don't like George. George is very rude. George could accidentally put us into a very bad situation later. Excuse you, game. Game, please. Game, please behave. All right, game is behaving. Game is there. Game is behaving. Cool. Game has decided to behave. Alrighty. If I'm doing things right, yes. Okay, we have time for about 2 donations.
I'd say, first off and foremost, I want to bring everyone's attention once again to the upcoming incentives and bid wars before anything else. So !donate. Make sure you are putting your donations towards any incentives or bid wars that you want. It makes it so much easier for our wonderful donations team to get everything all set up accordingly. But again, for upgrading the final level to overkill difficulty on Payday 3, we're just shy halfway, and we don't have as much time as you think to hit that total. So if you want to see, Metroid Crime and Indie Villain really get put to the test, put your donation towards that incentive right there.
Alrighty. So you may have seen there that I just used the pliers that we got in order to get another spike. So one of the big things that we are doing right now is that we are trying to collect 3 spikes and 3 discs. Now, it's all for a puzzle that we're going to be doing in a little bit here. But thankfully, we've already got most of them. I think at this point we have 2 of the spikes and 1 of the discs. We're going to be getting the second one in a moment here. So this is one of the glitches in the game. Hopefully we don't hit it. There's only a couple glitches that I know of, but hopefully once I complete this puzzle, we will not have to do it again. Okay, we don't have to do it again. I do not know what causes it. Sometimes the puzzle just decides to randomly not complete. And there was another example of Sakuya just deciding not to go in the direction I told her to. There we go. So yeah, if you get that glitch, and as far as I know, there's no way to know how to trigger it or how not to, it just decides to happen. It's about a 20-second time loss, I think. So it's pretty much a reset. Yeah, it's pretty much a reset if you're on a world record pace. Alrighty then. And as you can see, Sakuya stopped running, and that's because during that little bit of the game, I actually took my finger off of the run button. It's one of the few times that I do. I'm usually holding it just constantly. And the reason for that is this game has a stamina system. Now, you may see no, visible stamina bar, but it still has a sort of FromSoft-y stamina bar. In other FromSoft games, you can only run for a certain amount of time. However, for some reason, this game will let you continue running far after you've technically run out of... Also, hi, George. Far after you've run out of stamina, as long as you just keep... Oh, no, I should go that way. Okay, George, behave. Are you behaving? Are you going to behave? No, you're not going to behave. Okay. It'll let you keep running far after the amount of time that you're supposed to be able to. So as long as I don't take my hand off of this run button, I can keep running. Goodbye, George. Sometimes we can get away with letting George survive. This is not one of those times. Poor George.
Yeah, rip George.
Yeah, rip George. Thankfully, funnily enough, even if I do get hit a little bit more, it's fine because you actually have an infinite heal on you. The problem is it takes time. Hopefully, there's only going to be one point in the run where you're going to see me use the infinite heal because there's only one time in any phase of the game where you get to use it for free, and it's during Yang phase. All right, so I'm going to pick up this little iron wedge that for some reason Sakuya decided not to just reach across the dude's body and grab, and he decided to wake up because apparently he was very, very put out about that. I kind of stole his stuff. It's kind of rude. All right, and we're going to use that to open up a door in a moment here. So we probably have time for two other donations because the door's right in this room.
Sure. We have a quick $10 anonymous no comment donation. Thank you so much for your super awesome generosity for direct relief. And as a reminder again, we talked about the instead of last one. We're talking about a bid war. If you could choose the costume choice for Payday 3, Kitty Gang is still in the lead, but if you want the fast food crew or the original masks, you know what to do and you know where to put that incentive.
Alrighty. So this was an example there of Sakuya accidentally going to the side a little bit. You have to be very precisely placed in order to actually get a item to get used properly. You saw this a bit earlier when I was getting what's called the old disc, funnily enough, by using those two Guardian Doggo Stones. That can happen when just the game decides, I love this game. It loves me occasionally. Alrighty then. I'm just gonna hit this. This should take 5 hits. That's 1. He's always gonna grab you at least once. Sometimes you can get away with only getting grabbed once. 2, 3, 4, and is he gonna grab me? 5! Hey, that's good. I have not gotten that RNG. Hot. Okay. It saves a few seconds if you don't get hit. All right, so we got the Sacred Cloth Earth, so that's gonna be, that's going to be our next key. And they sort of think of the cloths as like the mansion keys in Resident Evil. One key, many locks. Excuse you, friend. Excuse you. Thank you, goodbye. So we're going to be using those keys to open up some more doors because, again, we are still trying to get our last little few spikes and discs. Now, there was a dude who's directly outside this door. This could be a little dangerous. All right, he's behaving. Please behave. Please behave for a little bit longer, sir. Thankfully, you can't be hit during a quote-unquote cutscene, which is nice. Okay, sir. He's you. Thank you. He decided not to hit me. Sometimes they'll jump at you, sometimes they'll hit you. You can sort of game their AI a little bit, but not all the time. As you can see, there's George. Rip George.
Oh, George.
Oh, George. Now, weirdly enough, there's some areas in this game, you see it more often in Union phase, where just random items that aren't even key items are actually triggers for things that you need. Like, this is just a random note. It has nothing to do with anything, but you need it in order to trigger something coming up. Now, right here, I'm going to try to manipulate the AI. Okay. Now, what I did there is I just stopped. I just stopped running. For some reason, about 9 times out of 10, if you just stop running for a half second after going through that door, both of the enemies, they're called Gaki, decide to jump at you instead of trying to hit you. We like it when they try and jump at you. I'm going to try and do it again here, but it doesn't always work. Okay, it worked. It's always preferable for them to jump at you because then obviously they're not doing any damage. All right.
Nice.
I'm going to need some focus here because we're going to be going into the first boss fight. There's another vertigo event. Hopefully I statted myself out correctly. Not statted, that's not the right word. All right, so we are, excuse you. Okay, I'm gonna need a little bit of quiet here. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm gonna be a little bit safer here and keep my distance. The problem with fights in this game, as you saw right there, is that enemies have ridiculous iframes. Excuse you. Game. Okay, I don't have any health items. This is a little bit sketchy. All right. I may die here if I'm not careful.
Demons and all evil.
Easy. Get off me, sir. Now, one thing that you can do if things are getting a little bit spicy is you can run just from corner to corner, and theoretically, he won't hit me. So I'm gonna wait for him to jump. Okay, he's behaving for now. Apparently, he's not behaving. Cool, this just got a bit more dangerous. Thankfully, if needed, I do have a safety save. Alrighty, he is deciding to behave for once. This is probably the rudest I have ever seen this boss be. His name is Lord Fujiwara. He is the lord of the mansion that I'm in. He is being aggressively rude today. I'm going a little bit onto a backup strap by using these Hibaris. Cool. All right, you probably have time for about 2 donations while I am doing a bit of a backup strat here. Oh wait, no, he just died. I miscounted his HP. Alrighty, so that is probably the longest Lord Fujiwara fight I have ever had. Now what messed up there? Now, you may have seen at the beginning of the fight, and just for safety reasons, I'm going to heal here while I'm explaining this. You may have seen that I missed a couple of these stronger spells. They're called Hien spells. That can happen when you miss and you accidentally hit the iframes. So a problem with this game's boss fights is the enemies, with a few exceptions, have ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous iframes. It is, even I, for having played this game hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times at this point, yet cannot actually tell you, excuse me, sir, okay, we're going to go this way instead. I could not tell you when the bosses can or cannot be hit. That's how bad the iframes are. So it can be very difficult to judge when to actually do a shot, because you notice they're not hit scan. This is Ayako. Ayako's, she's going to be fine. The spells in this game are not hit scan, so you have to actually sort of think about, okay, when does the enemy have iframes, you know, when are things gonna go wrong because the game decides it wants to mess with you. All right. So we're gonna use that bell that we just got from Lord Fujiwara to have a talk with Ayako. It'll go fine, don't worry about it. Oh, hey, where's Ayako? Nothing happened during that cutscene, don't worry about it. All right, finally we got some health items. Okay, so that is the last spike we're gonna need. We're gonna have to
Are the health items...
Sorry?
Sorry. Are the health items random, or are they like
They are
in
not,
specific spots?
thankfully. Yeah, I'm still like wow over that boss fight. I have literally excuse you, friend.
I was afraid to breathe.
Oh my god,
Oh, no.
I've literally I don't want to say the thing, but I'm gonna say the thing. That has never happened before. I have never had a Lord Fujiwara fight go that badly. So normally, how that fight would normally go, and if you go watch my world record for Yang phase, you'll see it there. You should be able to take that boss out within 5-ish, yeah, about 5-ish hits of that spell. He just decided to troll me. And I had to go on to a backup of a backup.
Oh man.
Woo, I'm breathing. I've got breath. This is fine. All right.
I wasn't.
Yeah, this is fine. Oh, there it is. I was like, where is it? I couldn't see the shiny. Okay, this is the last metal spike we need. And thankfully, the last disc we need also happens to be right over here on the side. Thank you. And we should, if I counted correctly, have all of the discs we need and all of the other stuff that we need in order to get through here.
Actually, there was a question that was asked in chat before the boss from Hack. What is like the story of Kuon?
Right, I started
this
that,
is not a game,
and then I got completely sidetracked about me having
This
the
is-
wrong splits up.
This is definitely not a game many people have
But
seen
before
because of
that-
its rarity.
Oh, hey, look, a dead body. For some reason, when you're playing Yin phase, you get a vertigo event there, sort of, but Saki just doesn't care. So, the story of this game, as I started earlier, is spooky things are happening in a spooky mansion. If you're playing as Utsuki, who is the Yin phase playable character, she is part of the spookies. So she's not a bad character or anything. She's just a little naive. And she actually lives here, she's going around with her sister disappears. You'll see Utsuki and her sister later, don't worry about it. However, what's going on with this group of people is we're just trying to figure out what's going on. Excuse you, game. We're just trying to figure out, where are the spooks coming from, what's causing all of the spooks, and what is up with all of this silk everywhere. And you might have noticed all of, what looks like cobwebs. Those aren't actually cobwebs. They are, in fact, silk. Because this game has a heavy theme of silkworms, mulberry trees, and shenanigans. I'm going the wrong way. You know what? I'm going to get rid of this vertigo event, because usually it's gone by now, so we're going to just flip back here and do this. Now, I'm full health right now, but doing this when you're full health can help get away from the wibbly wobbly camera vision of a vertigo event when you are at full health. Okay, so this is our second Gaki I like to name. His name, if I remember correctly, is Charles. Charles is rude. Okay. So rude. So anyway, back to the story. We're just trying to go in here and figure out who is causing this. Now, spoiler alert, mild spoiler, it is actually Utsuki's father. Utsuki's father is doing some shenanigans of a sort of medieval umbrella style of let's just start messing around with things we probably shouldn't be messing around with and getting a bunch of people infected with demons. So that's what he's doing. And we're like, we don't like that. So we're just gonna say, we're not about that life, and chase him down.
Now I know there's a third phase that can also be played that's a lot shorter.
There is. That third phase is the Kuon phase, and that takes place after Yin and Yang phase. Hello, friend. All right, so I'm gonna pick this up here, and I actually forgot to pick some up earlier, sadly, so we're going to do a little bit of a backup in a moment. Yes, Kuon phase is only about 6 to 8 minutes long when you're specifically speedrunning it. Now, the reason why it's so comparatively short is because it's essentially run to the final boss. Now, you're not going to be seeing that today, and that is a monk friend. If we were playing Yin phase, by the time Utsuki gets to that character, he has seen better days. He's currently praying to try and get rid of the demons. Spoiler alert, he fails. All right, excuse you, friend. Excuse you. Thank you. Alrighty. I'm going to slip and excuse you, friend. Okay. So Charles is deciding to be rude, but he's just going to stay back there. Now, funnily enough, sometimes you can get grabbed by the Gaki when you're when you go through a doorway and it looks like you're being grabbed by nothing. All right, we're going to need this for the boss fight coming up in a second here. Alrighty. Cool. So if you got any donations, we got time for probably about 2.
Sure. We actually had another $10 anonymous no comment donation. Thank you so much for that. Also, for that wonderful donation going towards direct relief. Again, remind you, upgrading the final level of Payday 3. Words are hard. Definitely, you want to get that in sooner rather than later because that is going to sneak up on you super fast. And again, when you put !donate in chat and you go to donate, put those towards the correct incentives. We want to make sure they are going to where you want them to.
All right, now we are underneath the temple complex. And we're going to be getting a more powerful weapon for Sakuya here. Funnily enough, we're not really going to be using it though because it is much more powerful to just use your spells. Now those 2 little children over there, you may have seen them a couple times already. Those are the Mulberry twins. More on them later. They're the entire reason everything bad's happening, besides Utsuki's father. They are the demons that are possessing everyone functionally. Now I'm waiting here, just for safety. An enemy dropped down from the ceiling over there, and I'm gonna try and just lure him. Excuse you, friend. There we go. Alrighty. Are you behaving? You are not behaving. Okay, now he's behaving. Cool. So, the reason why I decided not to attack that character is, or that enemy, not character, is because those enemies can actually, if you're unlucky enough, one-shot you. So you have to be very careful when they are around. Got 1 health item, and I'm gonna get ready for this second boss fight that's coming up here. Thankfully, this one is much, generally freer. And I say that with a grain of salt with how, my luck so far. All right, so I just used an ice spell in order to freeze her. This is Lady Fujiwara. She's the lady of the manor. And I'm going to be using these summons. Now, I'm not actually fighting right now, because it's actually better to just use the summon. Now, you can get away you can get away from this fight with only using 1 summon. Generally, I have to use 3 to 4. Okay, that's 3. Because the summons do more damage than Sakuya can do on her own. However, it's RNG, how lucky you get. And there we go. So that is Lady Fujiwara. And this is our little summon friend. Pick up the thing. There we go. Cool. So guess what? Guess what, Asuka?
What?
You've got about 3 minutes of donations, because all we're doing is running back to the beginning-ish of the game.
But I was scrolling through some of the comments made, and I noticed something that you had posted.
Oh?
A little bit earlier today. I just discovered a bug.
Oh.
But before we go, I want to hear about this.
So, while I was practicing Yang phase, actually, it's not gonna happen. It's not, I have no idea what caused it. It's the first time I've ever seen it. So I was at the very end of the game, in the very last room of the game, and the game just decided, for funsies, that that enemy that we just saw there in the underground cellar that popped out, and I was trying very, very carefully to get around, he just decided to go back into his cocoon. Because, funnily enough, that's actually the last room of the game, is right there.
Oh.
And he just decided for funsies to go back into his cocoon. And I went, huh, that's weird. So it's literally the hundreds of times I've played this game, and the couple hundred times that I've played Yang Face specifically, that is the only time I've ever seen that, and it literally happened my practice run before this.
Oh my gosh, that reminds me of a run I did. What was it? It was Give Me Toilet Paper for a GDQ mainline marathon where, like the day before, it's like, oh, That's a thing that I have found. Oh boy.
Yeah.
It's that moment of dread.
Yeah, this game is very generally stable. It does have a couple quirks to it, but there's no like big, sequence break bugs or anything. But yeah, when that happened, I just kind of stopped my run because I was in the last room anyway, and it was just practice, and just stared at it like, what are you doing up there in your cocoon, sir? You're supposed to be the final rude boy trying to get rid of me right at the end of the game. He was just chilling up there in his
tired.
cocoon.
Yeah, I'm just tired. Just finish the run without me.
Yeah. So who knows what did that? Shenanigans, probably.
Always shenanigans.
Yeah. You got time for probably 2 more.
All right, well, I did actually want to remind everybody, I haven't been able to really talk about what direct relief does for people, and just as a reminder, in the aftermath of Hurricane Helene, Direct Relief has swiftly mobilized support to the hardest hit areas by providing availability to $74 million in medicines and medical supplies, as well as giving $350,000 in financial assistance to community health centers, free clinics, and other healthcare providers. I love saying that fact because they have done so much for such a good cause, and with how fast their rapid response is amazing. So again, ! Donate in chat and help the wonderful cause that is Direct Relief. And then who knows, maybe because of that donation, we'll get to see that bug of our friend going back into the cocoon.
So at this point in the game, we've finished going through the mansion area because we're like, okay, it's not started at the mansion. It's probably at the temple. And as you saw the cutscene that just skipped there, we found Utsuki, who's with her sister Kureha and Sakuya's brother. Now, if you've played Yin Phase before this, you know this is a very bad thing. Because, spoiler alert, Kureha's probably the second main antagonist, and she's currently chilling with us. Now, for some reason, everyone else decided to run ahead, except they just walked and just vanished into the ether. And because of that, Sakuya got left behind a little. Now, oh look, it's Utsuki. That's Utsuki, right? Let's go follow her. Let's go follow Utsuki. We like Utsuki. Utsuki's good
Nothing can
people.
go wrong.
Nothing can possibly go wrong. That's definitely Utsuki.
Nah.
Oh wait, it's a demon.
Oh.
Now I always get hit there. But I'm going to keep an eye on my vertigo right now. So the vertigo from a vertigo event should go away within a few seconds, depending on your health. If it doesn't go away by the time I go over this bend, okay, then I'm going to stand here and meditate. Now, usually it would be gone by now. But because it's not, that means that I am fairly low health, and we're about to go through probably the scariest part of the game. Is right here. So there's going to be a bunch of monkey enemies. We don't like them because they hit like a truck. Thankfully, this is the only room that we see them, except for the boss fight that's going to be coming up in a second here. Now, I have a safety save. It's right before that vertigo event with that fake Utsuki. Also, we're going to skip a cutscene here with the real Utsuki. Now, I'm going to focus here, because this is literally the scariest part of the game to run. Because there's an instant kill here, and this boss also hits like a truck. So I'm not going to go through that door. Do not go through the door, Scarlet. Door is bad. I'm going to go to the window. I'm going to look through the window. Look to the left. There's an enemy there. Now I'm going to immediately meditate to get rid of the vertigo. If I go through that door right now, it is an instant death. Because there is an enemy in there. I'm going to get this for safety. I'm going to stay in front of the door, but just for safety, I'm actually going to take my hand off the button because I have messed this up before. I have to wait for him to come out. Okay, we're good. Get the mallet. Get the Hien for safety, and get the Karyu. The Karyu is the important part. All right, excuse you, turn around. Okay, now as you can see, Monkey Man has seen me. This is bad. I'm gonna need to focus here for the boss fight. Alrighty then. I'm gonna go straight into the boss. Immediately equip Karyu. And turn around and hit the wrong spell. Okay, cool. 1, 2. 1, 2. hit. Okay, cool. Behaving. 1, 2, dead. Okay. Whew! That went well. That went aggressively well. Easy, friend. Now, the reason why that's so scary is that boss is pretty fast and he can two-shot you. That's the wrong thing. Now I'm going to give the mallet that we just got in that scary area to Utsuki so she can give me a rope to get me up there with her. Now, it looked easy. It was not easy because I have to gauge. Remember how I talked about the difficulty with the enemy iframes? I actually have to gauge when that enemy stops with his iframes when he's on fire. If I do it too early, the spell will partially phase through him. And if I do it too late, he'll hit me. So he always hits me a few times, and there's Kureha talking to Saku's brother. I'm sure nothing bad will happen.
I'm noticing a trend every time you say that.
Yeah, it's kind of my thing. We've been told to go check out the temple while they hang out at the mulberry tree, at the evil demon-possessed mulberry tree. I'm going to hold to the left, to the right here, and hope I get him stuck on the log. I did. Awesome. So yeah, if you miss those 4 shots, it then becomes a bunch of backups, and you just have to hope. But as you probably saw, I actually picked up those 4 spells in the room with the mallet that was the instant kill room with the monkey in it. So the key to getting rid of that dude is actually right next to him. All right, so we are now in the temple. As you saw, that said Utsuki's entry. Yes, this is where the sisters would stay. All right, and then has to give you a tutorial telling you that you can jump down things. Cool. Thanks for the news game.
Thanks for the tutorial 30-some minutes into it.
Yeah, thanks, game. All right, so we're just trying to figure out, what's the deal up here while they chill at the evil mulberry tree. Thankfully, we're going to be getting some health items in a second here, which don't look at the window. Sake, excuse you. Which I think is lovely, because I like having health items. They're so much faster than the meditate command. I'm gonna pick these up. Give. Thank you. When I'm doing when I'm doing an attempt at world record here, I never pick those up because, again, it is slower to pick them up. But this is a marathon, and the beginning of the run scared me, so we're going to not do that. All right, so we're gonna read this diary here if Sake decides she wants to obey me. Game. Okay. This is Kureha's diary, and all it's telling you is that she died, but she's under that tree. How could she be dead? What the mulberry tree spell does, the Kuon spell, is when someone dies, you put them in a wicker basket with a silkworm, and they come out and they're fine. They're totally alive, right? Totally fine. The silkworm heals them. It's great. Except they start to get hungry after that. And then they want to get something a little bit bigger than the silkworm. And then they get hungry again. And they want to get something a little bit bigger than that. And then they get hungry a 3rd time. And they want something a little bit bigger than that. And it just keeps going. Until, surprise, surprise, they want to munch on a human. Which is bad. And guess what happened to Utsuki's lovely sister, Kureha? I'm actually going the wrong direction.
I'm assuming it's not, they went home and had a party.
No, she wants to have her sister for lunch.
Oh, okay.
All right, so I'm going to equip my backup here that I picked up earlier because I accidentally picked up didn't pick up the second bit of spells here. All right, hit me, sir. Okay, cool. Go ahead and be silly. Why not? So this, I actually cannot remember this character's name. It's either Dochin or Dokai. I can't remember. All right, so he's behaving for once. Okay, he's still alive, so I'm gonna equip my next item. Now, if I hadn't forgot to pick up that ice spell, I would have been able to take him out, no worries. I'm gonna be able to get a 3rd one in. Thankfully, he just sort of is probably the easiest boss in the game, funnily enough. I say that now, he probably is gonna take me out. So isn't that how that works? All right, there we go. Cool. So that's
Nice.
why I picked up the extra spells, because I forgot to pick up the earlier spell. All right, we're going to pick up the Sacred Cloth Mars. And that is going to let us get through here in order to get the item. All right, so the Kuon spell. Now, once the person who is, consumed consecutively bigger things, once they have gotten to the point where they're starting to consume people, eventually, when they've done it about 9 times, I think the game says, excuse you, Sakuya, behave. The reason why I'm having a little bit of trouble with the camera transitions is because despite the fact this game has, fixed camera angles, it's also sort of tank controls. However, you don't want to actually treat it like tank controls with the directional buttons. You still want to use the thumbstick because the directional buttons are actually really badly programmed. So you're trying to use tank controls with a thumbstick. But anyway, the Kuon spell. Once they get to the end of the 9, they become a mulberry tree. Do you like mulberry pie, Asuka? I like mulberry pie.
I did.
We don't like these mulberry pies. So the little kids in the red kimonos, we're going to see one in just a moment here. After we set there, well, in a little bit here. They turn into mulberry trees, which is, hey, look, it's a mulberry tree. Aren't they pretty? Yeah, it involves eating people to turn people into mulberry trees. I don't know how it works. It's some nonsense. Oh, hey, look, some nonsense. So our brother has just been consumed by Kureha. That is what happens when you try to do the Kuon spell. It's gross, isn't it? We're just gonna leave them. So you'd think that would be a boss fight, right? It's not a boss fight.
Oh.
You'd think that, it's not. Because you can just run. The game lets you just grab the Sacred Cloth and run. And we never have to deal with them. There's actually 3 ways you can get out of that fight. The fastest one is to just grab the cloth and run. Just leave your brother to his fate. You can't say
at that point, why not?
Yeah, at that point, he's done. So he's become Kureha's packed lunch. So yes, in the cutscene that I skipped earlier, there you got to see Kureha threw her sister Utsuki off a cliff, worst sister ever, and started consuming Sakuya's brother. And it took Sakuya too long to get back to him, so shenanigans. And do you like peekaboo, Asuka?
I'm afraid to say yes,
what?
but I like
Peekaboo!
chaos. Yes.
We're being chased by Kureha.
Of course.
Yeah, she's totally going to be actually waiting for us when we come back up this ropeway. It's great. I love that for us. So I'm gonna
You say that and I'm pressing X to doubt right now.
So I'm going to pick up the truth mirror here. We're going to need that for just a moment here. And as you can see, oh my god, there's enemies. These guys actually hit like a truck. Thankfully, I picked up extra health. And we're going to go right back up there. And guess it's going to be waiting for us. Hopefully I can get past. I've never actually been hit by Kureha here, and I know that I just jinxed myself, but... Okay, cool. I don't know why, but in the back of my brain, I always think if she grabs you there, it's an instant kill. I know it's not, because I actually on purpose tested it once, but I've never actually been hit by her during a run. It always scares me, though, because she's just so creepy.
Looks like she's really close, too.
Yeah, she gets really close there, and I don't even try and, dodge her, I just run past her. So that's going to be that's the first time. We're going to see her one more time here. And... this is when Sakuya goes, well, the mulberry trees are causing all of the demons, right? So what if I just set the tree on fire? So she does that, and I'm going to take my hand off of half of the controller, because this is another thing I've messed up before. If I hit the run button here, it is 9 times out of 10 a run killer.
Oh.
Because remember that vertigo event thing I was talking about?
Yeah.
A lot of the time, a vertigo event can summon ghosts or enemies. For some reason, almost this entire room is a vertigo event. And it summons about 30 ghosts.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, it's bad. Excuse you, pick up the... there we go, that's what I want you to pick up, honey. Alrighty. So I just picked up some iron wedges. We're going to use those to knock some walls down, because apparently Sakuya has the strength of 50 men. And she can just knock walls down. So,
Sure, why not?
Yes, now that Sakuya is burned down with the mulberry trees and realized it did, in fact, kill one of the demon children, she's like, let's go find the other one. And also try and save Utsuki, because we like Utsuki. While also running away from her sister, Kureha, because we don't like Kureha. So we're going into what's called the nursery, where the evil dad of Utsuki has been making all of these demons. And all of these weird worm things that I don't like. And this room here is the instant kill room. This is the only instant kill instance that is in both Sakuya and Utsuki's game. Now I'm going to be very careful to not run through the middle of the room and get out of here as quickly as possible. Now the reason why I'm not running through the middle of the room specifically is that the moment you trigger that vertigo, excuse you, game. What do you mean I can't use it? I'm right in front of the door, game. Excuse you. This is what I mean by you have to be on the exact right pixel for the game to behave.
Gotcha.
Okay, that's the second time I tried to use it. Game. There we go. Now it finally lets me use it.
Yes.
If you run through the center of that room after you trigger that vertigo event, which you have to trigger the vertigo event for it to let you use the iron wedge on that wall for some reason. If you run through the middle of the room, you just get caught in this creepy pool of blood and slowly dragged down into it.
Oh.
It's pretty gnarly, and it lasts for like a solid minute. So I'm going to be very careful and walk very slowly forward.
And that's in both phases?
It's the only instant kill instance that's in both phases. Okay, are you going to behave? You are going to behave. Excellent, friendo.
Good creepy slug person.
Good creepy slug person. Yeah, that's probably the scariest or second scariest slug person instance in the game. Because if you get trapped there, you can just get bodied. All right. Excuse you, Sakuya. There we go. All right. So we're trying to find our mentor and get him to stop making evil demons and stop turning his children into demons, because don't turn your children into demons. It's bad for them. Problem is, Utsuki's father, who's doing all this, is dun 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 Sakuya's mentor. And we just skip the cutscene where they yell at each other. So he ran off, and Sakuya's like, well, I guess I should probably get out of here too and go find some help, because this is a little bit over my head. I can actually hear the worm dudes running around. Ugh. Hopefully they're in a good spot. I say as I look at it. Excuse you, friend. Okay, hopefully the other one's in a good spot. Hey, he's behaving. I love it when the worms behave. Okay.
Nice.
So Saki was like, well, okay, I'm gonna get out of here. Nothing bad could possibly happen while I try and get out of here. Yep, cutscene that. Hi, Kureha. Bye, Kureha. Okay. So we're actually at the end of the game, believe it or not, or the end of phase one. This phase will end, excuse you, worm friend. Oh wow, he's actually being nice. Will end as soon as I get onto this bridge. Right about now. All right. So I'll let a little bit of this cutscene play out. In Utsuki's POV, you find out that not only did she get killed by her sister started trying to consume her. So Utsuki and Kureha are kind of sort of one person, kind of sort of two people right now, because it didn't go well.
Utsuki, are you all right?
And at this moment, Sakuya is like, oh no, I found Utsuki. Utsuki, let's get out of here. Your sister's chasing me. Problem. Utsuki has seen better days.
Beg you.
Utsuki's now a demon. So,
hello.
Yeah, and you see the conclusion of that, and all of that if you play through the Kuon phase, which we are not going to be seeing today, but if you ever manage to have about $500 to $1,000 to get a copy of this game, don't. It costs way too much money. I love this game, but it's not worth $1,000. But that was Kuon Young phase, and this is, by the way, what the cover looks like. It's spooky.
Nice.
I hope that you guys had fun. My voice is run ragged. But
Well, before it's fully gone,
yes,
wait, any shout outs? Where are you? What are you currently playing?
I'm currently playing a lot of Parasite Eve and a lot of spooky games. I wasn't able to submit to a GDQ this year or a couple other events because I'm going to Japan next year. But you can find me over on twitch.tv/MissScarletTanager. I have a dedicated bunny cam. You saw them at the beginning here. They have since run off like they normally do. They have their own dedicated camera, which is adorable. I try to stream on Tuesdays and Thursdays unless I'm having a busy time at work, in which case, you know, I work in medical, biomedical research. I have things to do. But Tuesdays and Thursdays at twitch.tv/MissScarletTanager. We love to play Kuon. We love to play spooky games. And yeah, that's me.